Welcome back, Curious. Lourdes, Rocco, Mercy James, David Banda, and the twins, Stella and Estere. No, I'm not talking about the characters of some cartoon series, but about the 6 children of the most successful singer in the history of pop music. A woman whose artistic name gave birth to the name of a new animal species as a tribute to her career. A woman who, despite having to overcome poverty and the loss of her own mother when she was just a child, has powered on through and achieved so much in her life. And did you know that she also suffers from brontophobia? That is a fear of lightning. Do you have any idea who I'm talking about? Of course, it's none other than Madonna. However, in this video, we will talk about something other than her career that is so known, but about her as a mother. How does she get along with her 6 children? Why did the singer decide a long time ago not to talk much about this subject? How did one of her sons make the material girl make a radical change in her life? I will tell you all about this in a moment, but before we continue, don't forget to hit the bell and subscription buttons. That's right, Curious. Many things can be said about Madonna because it is no secret that she is one of the celebrities who has been the subject of many scandals throughout her career. However, when it comes to her children, she has preferred to be much more discreet. But well, being the international star that she is, obviously she couldn't stop people from finding out about her 2 marriages. The first one with actor Sean Penn, and the second was with director Guy Ritchie. She also couldn't stop everyone from hearing about their respective divorces, or that several of her multiple affairs that had resulted in the birth of 2 of her biological children, or the adoption of the other 4. But the fact that Madonna decided to keep her children out of the spotlight as much as possible is no mere coincidence. Since the singer herself lived a rather complicated childhood, she wanted to avoid her kids having to grow up too fast as she had to. And since I mentioned this, before talking about her little treasures and how proud the singer is of them, let me tell you a little bit about the most complicated years that she had to live. Believe me, this way you will better understand the hermetism she has shown for so long. The material girl came into this world on August 16, 1958 in Michigan as Madonna Louise Ciccione. She grew up in a French-Italian immigrant family, so her parents had to fight 1,001 battles to be able to live the American dream, an idea that at the time was still very much going. When the singer was just 5 years old, her mother became ill and later passed away from cancer. Her father could not bear the loneliness and remarried. However, little Madonna's new stepmother might not have been what the girl was after, as she had resented her father for his decision to remarry. The arrival of the new addition to the household came with changes, and she had imposed a lot of strict rules of education. And yes, since those years, the singer, despite having attended a Catholic school where she had the opportunity to develop her skills in gymnastics, made it clear that she was not going to follow the rules to the letter and began to rebel against the school system. Now fast forward a little to a young adult Madonna. She had dropped out of college and moved to New York City with only $35 in her pocket, but with the firm and sole intention of starting her own career. She was so determined to do so that she didn't mind at all to have to work as a waitress at Dunkin' Donuts and Burger King, and even to do a nude photo shoot for which she was paid as little as $25 per session, and which would later be released by Penthouse and Playboy magazines once she got famous. And after working as a drummer in her then boyfriend's band, she finally decided to start a solo career. Her long-awaited debut came in 1982 with the single titled Everybody, which came from her first album that she decided to simply call Madonna. And thanks to her following one, Like a Virgin, the singer became an international star. Oh, and by the way, since I've already mentioned it, that was the first female album to sell more than 5 million copies in the United States. And now, the rest is history that most of us know to a certain extent. Controversy, scandals that included religious, moral and erotic themes, and yes, also success after success that even led her to be included in the Guinness Book of Records as the artist with the most sales successes in history, with more than 335 million copies of her albums sold. But it has not been just scandals and record breaking. Her success story also includes a lot of charity and philanthropic activities. Since 1998, she has run the Ray of Light Foundation, which helps humanity in general in different ways. And in 2006, together with Michael Berg, they created the Raising Malawi Foundation, which aims to provide diverse support in that country. And it is precisely thanks to this altruistic work that Madonna met her 4 adopted children. But since we came to the subject of her 6 kids, let's mention them in order of, let's say, appearance. It was at the end of the previous millennium, in 1995 to be exact, when the singer began dating Carlos Leon, her Cuban personal trainer. A year later, on October 14, 1996, her firstborn, Lourdes Maria Ciccione Leon, came to change her mother's life completely. However, despite the joy that little Lourdes brought to the singer, her relationship with the girl's father did not work out, and they decided to separate in 1998, although on very good terms for the well-being and emotional health of both of them, and above all, that of their daughter. And as I said at the beginning, for many years, Madonna maintained a certain hermetism with everything related to her and her children in general. However, in May 2019, she gave an unusual interview to Vogue magazine in which she spoke about Lourdes' new incursion into various artistic fields. The now 24-year-old is dedicated to dance, music, and acting. It seems that her talents are so great that even her own mother feels a certain envy for it. During the talk, obviously as a joke, Madonna said the following words: "I'm green with envy because she's incredible at everything she does. She's an incredible dancer, she's a great actress, she plays the piano beautifully, she's way better than me in the talent department." Although already speaking much more seriously, she also confessed that Lourdes was not having an easy time entering the world of acting precisely because of the envy of haters who constantly attacked her and told her that she had no talent at all, but was only in the industry because she was the daughter of the Queen of Pop. Curious. Haters will attack people for the slightest of things. Now, we could go on to talk more about Lourdes, but we'd run out of time, and either way, we have a video about her, which you can check out by clicking on the link above. So let us now move on to her second child, son Rocco Ritchie, who was born on August 11th, 2000, after his mother began a relationship with his father, director Guy Ritchie, in 1999. 4 months after little Rocco was born, in December of that same year, his parents decided to join their lives in marriage in a private ceremony held in Scotland. However, she would not live with the filmmaker forever either, as the couple divorced in 2008. But with Ritchie, the end of their marriage was not as peaceful as it had been with her breakup with Carlos Leon. Since the divorce, they have been caught up in a seemingly endless tug-of-war over custody of little Rocco, who, by the way, had decided to stay with his father. Finally, after realizing that Rocco didn't want to be with her, the singer gave up and withdrew her petition for custody. And some assume that this decision was not entirely a good one, because in 2016, 8 years after the battle for parental authority, at the age of 16, Rocco was arrested in London for possession of illegal substances. However, it only took a few hours at the police station and a bail payment until he was released. But from that moment on, he has been the victim of unrelenting persecution by the press. And now, yes, we've told you about Madonna's altruistic work on the African continent that had led her to meet her 4 adopted children. And now I'll explain why. It turns out that during one of her usual visits to Africa to do charity work, the actress decided to donate money for the construction of an orphanage in Malawi, and it was just then that she met little David Banda. Madonna was so taken with the adorable little boy that she decided to adopt him. However, even that good deed caused controversy. Now you might be wondering why, and I shall tell you. It turns out that Malawi's law prohibits foreigners from directly adopting children born in that country. But well, we are talking about the Queen of Pop after all. So one way or another, she did what she had to do and finally was able to finalize the adoption of the little boy, who was in such a bad physical condition due to malnutrition and living with other children suffering from malaria and tuberculosis that he even suffered from severe pneumonia. Fortunately, thanks to his mother's care and his new life being so different, David managed to recover. And how? It turns out that he was so good at kicking that in 2016, when he was just 11 years old, he was signed up by the Benfica soccer club in Portugal for their youth academy. It was for this reason that Madonna's life took a complete turn as she had to move to Lisbon, the Portuguese capital, and the home of her son's new team. By the way, during the same interview that the singer gave to Vogue in 2019, while talking about David, she said the following: "What he has more than anything is focus and determination. I'm pretty sure he got it from me. He's the one I have the most in common with." And now let's talk about Mercy James, whom she adopted in 2009, and the twin girls Stella and Estere, who in 2017 made up the singer's family as it is today. These 3 children were also born in Malawi, and yes, just as for the adoption of little David years ago, in order to give them a new home, Madonna also had to go through a long bureaucratic process. Fortunately, on that occasion, the Queen of Pop returned triumphant and happy from the African continent, and later thanked all the people who had supported her in order to be able to offer a dignified life to those little ones. The exact words she published in her Instagram post were the following: "I am deeply grateful to all those in Malawi who helped make this possible. I ask the media please to respect our privacy during this transitional time." Since she arrived in Lisbon, Madonna has been revolutionizing and creating a huge buzz in the Portuguese capital. Well, that, and also, of course, a few controversial things. The first of these was the ease with which she was given to obtain her legal residence in the country. I mean, wow people, her underage son had been signed up to play for Benfica. What was she supposed to do, let him move out on his own? But that wasn't all. People also criticized that she had acquired her new mansion by the river, the Ramhalet Palace, built in the 18th century and which used to be a hotel. Oh, and also the fact that the singer was treated like a real diva because she didn't have to pay anything to park her 15 vehicles a few meters away from the center of the city. However, after that fact was discovered, they started charging her, and the singer decided to go and live in Santa Catarina, an area a little more modest but with equally impressive views. However, her second move, which by the way was definitive and out of Portugal, occurred only at the beginning of October this year, after she herself announced through a strange video call on FaceTime with a dog, and she told him that she was moving out of the country, a thing that had been rumored since February 2019. But as she said, the experience was unforgettable as she now lives in love with Lisbon. And so curious, did you know the names and origins of Madonna's 6 children? Do you think the treatment and privileges she received during her stay in the Portuguese capital were fair just because she is the Queen of Pop? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you again in our next video.